sa tanan. Welcome to the MAKABATA Series. So this is a digital platform dedicated to championing child rights and protection. So welcome to our premiere episode for episode 1. From awareness to action, sharing of best practices on the advocacy campaigns for TIP and 𝐒𝐄𝐄. So I am your host. I am Chelsea Larios from the DSWD Interagency Council Against Trafficking 7 and the Violence Against Women and Their Children. So, kamusta sa atong tanan, no? So, welcome to our premiere episode. So, we are very excited, no, as this is our premiere episode, no, and we are joined by our guest this afternoon, no. So, sa atong tanan, no, to our partners from the different government offices, non-government offices, and civil society organizations, and including our academe, welcome, no, and thank you for joining us para sa ato ang first episode sa MAKABATA webinar. So, I'm not sure if you are excited though, because this is the first time that we're doing this, and this is very unique, no, na experience for us. But now, no, na nakita na to, no, na ang atong studio, no. So we would like to thank first and foremost the Presidential Communications Office for allowing us, no, to use their studio, no, as part of the historic premiere episode of the MAKABATA series. All right. So to give our audience a deeper context on why we are doing this episode. So the month of July is not just the month of the Nutrition Month, the month of the National Disability Awareness Week, and even the Disaster Resilience Week, but the month of July is also the National Anti-Trafficking in Persons Awareness Month, no, through the proclamation number 1180 series of 2021. So what is this advocacy all about? So through this awareness, no, we are trying to continue our efforts to let the people, the public, know what are the issues confounding trafficking in persons, or simply we refer to it as human trafficking. So I think everyone is aware, no, kung unsa man ning human trafficking. So sometimes we see videos online of children's pictures, videos being sold online. We see reports of OFWs being victimized of illegal recruitment. So these are different forms of human trafficking. So as part of the Interagency Council, it's really our mandate and our advocacy to really spread awareness na ipadayon jud nato ang atong advocacy from the top to the bottom level up to our grassroots organizations. Okay? So, what makes this premiere unique is because we will talk about the experiences, no, of our partners when doing advocacy campaigns. So, it's very important that we have a sharing of best practices siguro, because we want our audience, especially from the local council for the protection of children and the local council against trafficking and the violence against women and their children, na matagan silang idea noon what we can do to really spread pa the advocacy, no, in the prevention and response to human trafficking and online sexual abuse or exploitation of children. And lastly, of course, since this is the MAKABATA series, so it's very important that we promote and highlight our MAKABATA helpline 1383. So if ever na amoy makita, or if you have personal knowledge of cases of violence against children, and that includes human trafficking and online sexual abuse or exploitation of children, please call our MAKABATA helpline 1383. So the MAKABATA helpline 1383 does not only provide as another reporting mechanism, but it actually gives us a uniform referral pathway when it comes to cases of violence against children. So that's why it's very important na ato jog i-raise, mahimong kanang mainstream nato ang atoang helplines, no, when it comes to the prevention and response to trafficking and online sexual abuse or exploitation of children. Right? So now, we are actually excited because this is the first episode, yes, no? And we are actually being kauban, no, sa buhat, no, ang ato ang council members from the Interagency Council Against Trafficking 7 and the Violence Against Women and Their Children. Right? So, to help us learn more of the strategies. So we have really invited our council members who are doing advocacy work, advocacy campaigns, not only in the regional level but in the barangays, in the grassroots level. So of course, I'm not sure if you are excited, but I am excited no na atong ipaila ato ang mga guests this afternoon. So let's start with our first guest from one of our kanang lead agency when it comes to advocacy communications from the Interagency Council Against Trafficking, no? So we have Miss 𝐂𝐄𝐂 from the Commission of Filipinos Overseas. Kamusta, Miss 𝐂𝐄𝐂?
Okay lang naman.
Okay lang, no? Actually, no, parang malamig yung panahon natin ngayon, no?
Yes.
So, during that tape recording, so nagkaroon ng ashfall. So, hindi naman affected yung travel time papuntang dito.
Hindi naman. Ano lang, nagpayong kami.
Nagpayong lang, no? Kasi biglaan yung ashfall natin, no? Oo. Kaya nga na parang sa ating mga audience, no, I think by the time that this will be aired, wala nang ashfall. But yeah, it's very important na makinig tayo sa news to really ensure yung mga precautions natin, for example. So, thank you, Miss 𝐂𝐄𝐂, for joining us from the Commission of Filipinos Overseas. Right? And last but not least, of course, one of our active partners, no, along with CFO from 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐒𝐄 Foundation, we have Miss Maritoni Sagun and Miss Maria Erica Marie.
Hello, good afternoon.
Miss Cha.
We're very honored.
It's a privilege to be invited here.
Yes.
Yeah. So mga kauban ni namo sila sa buhat. So if you are familiar, no, sa atong mga guests this afternoon, so pwede mo mag-shout out, no? Kay makita dyan na nila, no? No? So I think first time po ni ninyo, no? Na maging ani, no?
This is our first time.
First time, no? So, unsa inyong gibati karon, no, before we go to our questions?
We're
Medyo
excited.
siya, ano ba yan?
Kakaba.
Nakakakaba. But yeah, we're very excited to share and learn as well the other advocacy campaigns from other partner council members of 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐄𝐃.
Yeah, we are very excited to share our advocacy campaigns, different experiences
Yes,
from
that's right.
organizational experiences. So
That's right.
we are really excited to share.
How about you, Miss 𝐂𝐄𝐂? Excited ka na ba?
Yeah, in a way, kasi based sa mga lagi namin nakakausap regarding CFO, not everyone knows who or what CFO is, no? So I think this is one of the pwedeng maging platform or way na at least makilala sa mas malaking tawag dito, audience, kung sino ba si CFO, ano ba yung trabaho namin sa CFO, and ano yung mga naitutulong ng CFO regarding sa, of course, no, yung anti-trafficking awareness month natin, and sa mga iba't ibang things, no, na nakikisalamuha and nakikibagay si CFO, no, na hindi po kami pang ano lang, hindi kami nandito lang, no, hindi kami para lang sa of course, no, one of our clients is syempre yung mga overseas Filipinos natin. So, hindi yun lang, no, hindi lang puro frontline. We have a lot of programs din na kayang i-offer ng CFO, and hopefully may sagot natin siya this afternoon, no, sa mga discussion natin ngayon after this.
Okay. So I think Miss 𝐂𝐄𝐂 is excited, so I will go straight ahead na lang to the point, no, ng ating discussion, no. So before we go to our questions, no, so of course our audience would want to they would love to hear ano yung mga ginagawa natin in the ground, especially in Region 7. So I think our partners are already familiar on kung ano yung ginagawa ng Interagency Council, including CFO and 𝐒𝐿𝐶. But for this afternoon, can we hear siguro ano yung mga advocacy campaigns natin, especially here in Cebuan, Bohol, na currently ini-implement ng ating mga agencies, for example. So parang si Miss 𝐂𝐄𝐂 is parang na-mention niya ano sino or ano yung CFO. So can you tell us more sino si CFO, si Commission Filipinos Overseas, parang na-introduce mo na siya, and then ano yung mga strategies and mga advocacy campaigns natin, especially here in Central Visayas?
Alright. So, una sa lahat, no, CFO, the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, we are one of the government agencies natin who caters to our Filipino migrants, no. So, ang partners natin dyan, we have the DFA, Department of Foreign Affairs. We also have the DMW, Department of Migrant Worker, who caters to our overseas Filipino workers, which is considered sila as temporary migrants. And the CFO, kami po yung nagkikater sa mga Filipino permanent migrants natin, no, residents. No? So basically, Filipinos bago sila mang ibang bansa, no? Ang frontline services na meron si CFO, we have programs and seminar para at least yung mga Filipinos natin, before they migrate to other country, they will be fully aware of their different rights, benefits, and privilege of Filipinos living in those specific countries, no? Kasi hindi siya generalized, no? Parang specific country ang discussion. So, with regards naman sa 𝐒𝐄𝐒 and ATIP natin, na yun sinaselebrate natin for this month, yung awareness na yan. Sa lahat ng programs namin, hindi na mention ang human trafficking. No? Kasi one of the reason bakit may CFO, kasi we're trying to look into the legalities ng pagiging resident ng isang Filipino para makita natin na hindi sila magiging victim ng trafficking in other countries. No? So, isa sa pinaka highlight na program na yung nagfo-function talaga for that is the guidance and counseling program. So it's one of our pre-departure program in which ang mga clients natin doon are Filipinos na may partner or petitioned or sponsor sila ng mga partners nilang foreign national, former Filipino, or dual citizen. In short, Filipino na may partner na foreign national, intermarriage in general. Now, so we have seminars. After the seminar, we have one-on-one counseling. No? So we talk to them one-on-one just to look into how established, how genuine yung relationship na meron sila. Kasi doon natin na-prevent yung exploitation na maaaring mangyari sa kanila in the future. No? So, of course, no, during the seminar, we discuss relationship, no? Yung basically, ano po ba yung mga challenges and realities kapag ka foreigner yung partner. Ayan. So, all about relationship siya. And then, nai-insert yung 𝐒𝐄𝐒 and awareness, no, sa ATIP natin and 𝐒𝐄𝐒 with sa part in which we remind them na at the end of the day, pagdating natin sa ibang bansa, kayo po yung nandoon. No? Kayo yung nandoon. Let's say, wala kayong kakilala sa ibang bansa and this is your first time entering that country. And then, since foreign national yung naging partner natin, very limited yung getting to know stage kung tawagin natin. Kasi nga, it's online. No? Everything is done online. No? Most of our clients, no? Sa mga nagda-dating apps po dyan.
Shout out.
Shout out. No, yun sa mga nakaka-match with the foreign national. So, may mga ganun eh. So, since online dating apps, no, wala naman tayong sinasabi. There's nothing against dating apps. No, I mean, sino ba mga guilty dito? No, so may mga ganong instances na ang kinakatakutan lang kasi natin, kung hindi nila nakilala ng husto yung mga partners nila, there's a possibility na baka nga mabiktima sila, no? Kung hindi ng human trafficking, kung hindi ng 𝐒𝐿, anti-male or responsible, we have AMOS. No? Kung hindi AMOS, domestic violence, abuse, maltreatment, no? Kasi there are cases na without the counseling, hindi nila, with counseling kasi, doon nila nakikita na hindi pa pala ganun ka heavy or ganun ka in-depth yung relationship that they have with their partners. So, may mga tendency na nakikitaan, let's say, yung foreign partner pala, turns out, let's say, may mga criminal background sa tapas, no? So, actually, with regards with 𝐒𝐿, I think I have handled the case before na yung partner, yung foreign national, was apparently involved with child pornography, things like that, no? So, nagiging pathway si CFO, no, in a way na para mas makilala nila ng husto yung partners nila. But other than that, no, ang dami nating program. As I said, lahat ng program mentioned talaga, no, ang 𝐒𝐿. Then we also have yung 1343 action line natin, no, na in which pwede silang tumawag anytime, no, para magbigay ng report, no, magsumbong-sumbungan ng bayan. Ayan, then we also have a lot of programs na nangyayari, hindi lang sa frontline, hindi lang dun sa ginagawa sa opisina, even outside, no, inaabot din natin yung mga localities natin, not just in Region 7, hindi lang sa Cebu, even national. No, so yearly iba't ibang city yung binibisita natin for educational purposes, yung community education program that we have on migration. Then meron din tayong intermarriage, no? Yan sa intermarriage naman, LGU yung mga tinatap natin kasi sila yung involved doon. Online postings, no, marami tayong online postings, hindi yan nawawala. And of course yung mga IC materials na binibigay natin, no, sa mga partners natin, hindi lang sa mga partners, even with our clients, no, sa mga nakakausap namin. So I think regarding sa pag-spread, no, kung gaano ba ka-involved si CFO, involved tayo sa maraming paraan. Ayan.
Ayun. Sige. Kasi marami yung nagtataka, no? Kasi marami tayong mga agencies when it comes to the protection ng ating mga Filipinos overseas. And then, one is the Department of Migrant Workers. So, curious lang ako, Miss Clay, ano yung pinagkaiba ng DMW and CFO?
Okay, so basically DMW, they cater our overseas Filipino workers. OFW, mga nagtatrabaho. Yung CFO po kasi, permanent migrants, no, residency. So, ang difference nun, permanent, pang mahaba, long-term residency na sila. Then most of them, family-based ang petition. Kasi if you're a permanent resident na sa ibang bansa or a naturalized citizen of other country, one of the privilege that you can do is you can sponsor or petition your family member to be with you in other countries. So basically, migration talaga siya. Full migration. Yung OFWs po kasi natin, temporarily migrant sila kasi migrant lang sila for the specific amount of time na meron sila sa contract.
Yes, kasi nagtatrabaho sila.
Nagtatrabaho sila. No, although may mga worker kami, may mga immigrant workers din naman tayo, pero they were given a chance, no, to live permanently or for a long term in other country. Kasi our OFW, bound by their contract. And then they have to be back. After the contract, they have to be back to the Philippines, renew another contract para pwede silang ulit makapasok sa ibang bansa. So I think yun yung pinaka-best way to explain ano ba yung difference ng DMW with the CFO.
Ayun. So that clearly explains, no, kumbaga in short terms, yung CFO is more on mga yung permanent na, yung parang yun talaga yung plan mo to migrate. For example, pag nahanap mo na yung one true love mo, for example, and hindi naman masama yung mga ganito, as long as guided ka ni CFO, and that is very important, no? And then si DMW is focused more on sa ating mga OFWs. And as what I've said kanina, kasi marami tayong cases ng mga OFWs or na-victimize sila ng illegal recruitment. So that is very important also na before they depart, no, sa ibang bansa, they will also be guided, no? And that is also the same with CFO. So Miss Cleo, marami po ba kayong mga offices here in Region 7? And where are you located right now?
Okay, so our main office po is located siya sa Pasay. Sa Pasay. Then we have one in Baguio. We have another extension office sa Visayas kasi Cebu lang. No? So although maraming mga from our clients na pwede po bang kahit gumawa ng another extension office in Cebu. Visayas, Cebu, Mindanao, we have 2 Davao and sa CDO. No? Tapos yung CFO po, meron din tayong mga desks, no, sa Clark Airport natin and even in NAIA.
Ayun. So, marami pala, no? So, at least hindi siya in every local. Kasi, depende lang naman yan, no? Kung nasaan yung travel siguro, yung proximity ng ating mga airports rin. So, here in Cebu, we have a Cebu office here ng CFO. So, parang extension office, no? Sige, so, dito naman tayo sa Bidlisio Foundation, no? So, what are the advocacy campaigns? So, I think there are really more, kasi marami yung advocacy campaigns na ako personally, marami akong parang engagements with Bidlisio. So, we want to focus more on 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐄𝐒 and human trafficking.
Sige. Alright, so first and foremost, a bit of a background on what is a Bidlisio Foundation. We are a community-based NGO. And we partner with communities in our areas. So right now we have partner barangays in Cebu City. We also have in Mandaue
City.
Yes, and we also have a partner area in Bohol. So that's where we are operating right now. And so our advocacy and prevention campaigns, as I mentioned, we partner with communities. So we have community-based awareness raising efforts, and some of them include community education, or COMED, we call that for short, where we gather community members in, say, like a public space, usually in a gym, sometimes, and then we would discuss the red flags, what is trafficking, what are the red flags of trafficking, and the reporting pathways. We also have the guided
group interaction with it's a learning session with the children.
Yes.
We gather children from the community to discuss what is 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐄𝐒, what is human trafficking, and what are the red flags of these issues, and then also to provide them with online safety as well, especially to 𝐒𝐈𝐄𝐒.
Yes. And as far as our interventions, because we also cater to children in need of special protection and their families. So we also have monthly sessions with them, and we incorporate them in those sessions as well the safety behaviors, particularly sa online po, and then how to protect themselves and to promote and protect the rights of children in general. So that's as far. We also have I almost forgot. No, we also have recently, we brought our special events to our community areas. Like for example, last February we had a sinisine sa barangay, and the film that we presented talks about 𝐒𝐄𝐑𝐈𝐒𝐾. And so we did was we gathered the community members, and then we had them watch the film. We also had interactive booths for them to have activities. And so yeah, that's what we have been doing so far in Bidlisio.
So medyo ubay-ubay gid na nga tong inyong mga activities, no? So where are you located, or asa ang inyong mga target areas karon for your projects?
Right now, are you talking about the active?
Yes.
Okay. So right now we have 10 partner barangays.
We have 10 as well. So from Cebu City and Mandaue City, because Tony, well, just to give an information or a background, Bidlisio is a project-based organization also. So that's why we have different projects that caters to children in need of special protection. So Tony's project focuses on trafficking in area of Cebu City, and also the 𝐒𝐄𝐑 focuses on Cebu City and Mandaue City. We also have our one project that focuses still on online safety, the scroll. In the provincial wide level, yeah, in Daan Bantayan, Naga. So we're not limiting to cities alone here in the central.
We also have the 𝐒𝐄𝐑 project in Bohol.
Yeah.
Bohol na. Okay, because I'm happy because at least our efforts are not only focused here in Cebu but in Bohol as well, no?
That's
Because
right.
we have really seen yung mga cases natin na there are a lot of cases not only in Cebu but even in Bohol, for example, I think human trafficking in 𝐒𝐄𝐑, for example. So it's very important na kaya yung sinabi ko in our council meeting na our efforts should not only be focused in the cities but in the far-flung areas.
That's
No,
right.
yeah. Kasi in one of the advocacies that we've had, I think we went to Adlaon
Yes,
last time
last year.
abutan tayo ng ulan. So ganun siya kalayo, no? And then yung these types of advocacy campaigns are parang hindi sila sanay na meron ganito. For
Yes.
example, unlike if you are here in the
City.
urban areas in the cities.
That's true.
So right now in Bidlisio, since Bidlisio is a non-government organization and project-based, so do you accept volunteers so far?
We do have interns.
We do have community volunteers. We do have our interns. We accept interns, either social work interns or psychology interns. No. Also, we do have our professional volunteers. So that's with engaging with children, involving with them. So also part dera ang amuang pag educate for them or orient them about our child protection policy, because it is rooted dapat ilahang actions and behaviors sa amuang child protection policy.
Like
Especially
recently, we partnered with the USC College of Law, and then they have third-year law students who interned for us last year.
this year, last May.
Yes, last May. So that's one of the areas that we have volunteers from.
Okay, sige. So, with the advocacy campaign, so I think there are a lot, I get it from kanang CFO that you have community education programs, no, for Bidlisio. There are a lot of mga projects po, no, in different areas of Bidlisio. So, among these advocacy campaigns, what are the advocacy campaigns that you think that yielded high engagement with our partners? For example, na masasabi natin na they are really engaged, or they are parang focused, or they are interested in learning more. And how are these projects, advocacy campaigns, different to what we do in the past, yung traditional methods natin like mga seminars, for example? So let's start with Miss Cleo.
Well, sa amin naman kasi, una sa lahat, yung na-mention, community education program, before we decide which city ang pupuntahan, example, for the year 2026, no, tinignan namin ano ba yung mga issues, ano ba yung mga challenges that we have faced sa 2025. So, alin yung mga cities na involved doon, taga saan usually yung mga victim, saan nangyayari, ayan. So, yun yung naging target namin for 2026. So, laging ganun, no? For the next year, tinitingnan namin ano ba yung naging problem for the past year. Since, so yung program, mas nagiging involved tayo kasi hindi talaga siya nawawala, no? Sa totoo lang, hindi nawawala, no? Parang, yun din, no? Thinking about this, arranging yung mga dapat na isasagot ko dito, na-realize din namin both kasi we have, our supervisor pala, no? Shout out to Miss Kim. Nagamit yung shout out si Miss Kim po, no? So, ayan, parang kami nag-brainstorm, parang, nga, no? Mentioned halos lahat. Sa halos lahat ng program, kahit na sabihin natin pre-departure kami, no? More on pre-departure, palabas ng Pilipinas. Parte pa rin ng program natin, we mentioned them na dapat mag-iingat tayo, no? May mga ganitong cases. So yan, human trafficking, osaek nangyayari din. Kasi hindi naman puro adults yung mga clients natin. Siyempre may mga nagmamigrate na kids, no? So yun yung mga anak ng mga either anak ng mga Filipinas na may partner na foreign national, hindi kaya yung mga kabataan are ages 13 until 19, no, na kasama sila sa mga na-petition. So we also have peer counseling program. So ang counseling hindi lang sa mga may partner na foreign national, as I said. So sa peer counseling program, we remind them na when it comes to bullying, of course online bullying, no, yung mga any cases of bullying na na-experience nila online. Ayan, so mini-mention pa rin na mag-ingat, no, hindi dapat lagi nagtitiwala, no, hindi kasi ngayon ang dami mo nang mamimit online.
Yes.
No, yung mga nagkakalat sa sa Roblox. Doon sila nagkakakilala, tapos magugulat ka, what ages? 9 years old, may mga friends na around 20 years old, no? Kasi nga, pwede namang makipagkaibigan online, no? Ang nakakatakot kasi doon kapag hindi sila monitored, yung mga kabataang to, no? Hindi sila ganun na-educate or hindi sila na-inform kung gaano siya nakakatakot, no? So, sila yung mas madalas na nagiging victim, no? So, with regards sa question kanina, ano ba yung mga other involvement? Lahat no? Mention pa rin, no? Kasi yun naman talaga ang pinaka tinitignan din, no? To promote nga the interest, no, the welfare ng mga Filipino. So, with promoting the welfare, parte na din dyan na masabihan sila na may mga these cases happen still na kahit nasa ibang bansa tayo, so dapat din po laging mag-ingat, no? So, ayan. And then, yung sa community naman, sa CEP, hindi lang siya focus sa migration, no? Kasi ang sa CEP, hindi ang mga audience namin usually LGUs, no? Sa LGU, then I believe laging nangyayari, we talk to the PNP, no, sa mga kapulisan dun sa specific city para ma-inform din sila na may program na ganito si CFO, and then we are willing to partner with them in the future if in case may mga things or may mga involvement ng mga activities o mga cases, no, with our overseas Filipinos, and then students, no? So may radio interview din yan, no? So parang ang CEP, by the way, it's a 1 week na program yan, no, in a specific cities. Tapos yun yung mga activities nila, no, LGU target sa school, tapos may mga radio interview, no, para at least yung buong cities makaalam din ng ano ba yung nangyayari sa CEP. Ayan, no. So ang involvement, ulitin ko lang, ang involvement talaga ng CFO is hindi lang pang barangay, no, hindi lang din yun. Kasi yung mga things na sinasabi namin or mga part ng mga programs namin, more on migration din siya, no? Migration at the same time, no? Yung mga nangyayari din dito sa mga locals natin.
Yeah. I would like to pick up, no, yung sinabi una ni Miss Cleo, yung number 1, yung parang issue-based sa atin na on what is trending right now. So, kasi yung ibang tao, unless they are hooked on TV or if they are working like what we do, no, hindi nila alam ano yung nangyayari. For example, when we go to the committee, they know it's happening, pero hindi hindi nila alam ano yung term, no? So, na-remember ko working with CFO, parang nagtatanong kayo, ano yung mga trendings ngayon? Or ano yung nakikita natin? So, we focus on that. So, ngayon, yung focus natin is on online human trafficking or online sexual abuse or exploitation of children. Yes, we go for this one. But at the same time, kasi still existing pa rin yung ating labor trafficking, for example, for migration na human trafficking. So, it's very important. I think it's part of the advocacy campaign. When we do advocacy campaign, hindi lang, okay, kasi may budget ako, gagawin natin ito. But it's more on issue-based dapat. Number one, no, natitignan natin, if Cebu is ganito, dito yung focus natin, no. So, that's very important in advocacy campaign, no. Yung second one, no, is yung peer-based na what if, no, yung ating, yung magka-counseling is someone, no, na who knows or hindi naman siguro in that situation na meron, but at least someone who will guide them. So, it's very important, no. And ito kasi yung parang forte siguro ni CFO, yung counseling, no.
Yes.
Yeah. And then yung last one is yung involvement. Kasi nakikita ko in CFO na yung advocacy nila, like for example, I remember na parang you go to other areas, hindi lang kayo sa Cebu and Bohol.
Yes, nationwide.
Oh, nationwide.
The whole involved.
Last time, saan kayo last time?
Yung sa akin, actually pinadala ako international.
Wow!
Napadala ako in Japan. Napadala kami sa Japan last year and Naga City. Camarines Sur, no, pinadala kami. Just this year, ang mga nabalitaan ko, meron din sa Leyte, pero upcoming pa yung Leyte. Zamboanga City, no, alam naman natin nangyari sa Zamboanga. And then, ang pupuntahan yung na-assign din sa akin for this year is, I think, Cavite.
Oh.
Ayan. So parang kung nasaan yung trend, no, nasaan, ano yung address, no, ng mga victims, so hindi kaya saan nangyari yung mga issues na yun yung tina-target natin. And yun ang number one na tinatanong sa amin tuwing in-open up namin na ito po yung mga cities na pupuntahan namin for this year for our CEP and intermarriage. Number one question is bakit yan? No? So yun, dun kami nagbabase na kasi dito po yung mga current issues natin that happened in the past. So I think it's best na we have to remind our LGUs and yung mga localities doon na mag-ingat, no, and meron tayong mga ganitong klaseng awareness, and then merong ano yung help din na kayang i-provide, no, ni CFO regarding sa mga cases na currently nangyayari kasi may mga ganong cases, no, kung naalala mo Miss Charles, magkasama tayo sa TIP caravan natin last year, no, so dito lang naman yung sa Cebu, and then ang nakakagulat tuwing may TIP caravan, pag nag-e-explain about CFO, this and that, doon lang naglalabasan yung issues, no? So magugulat ka din like, bakit ngayon lang bakit hindi po umaabot sa amin? Para at least, no, pero nakakagaan din siya in a way kasi at least nalalaman na nila, okay, ngayon alam ko na kung kanino kami lalapit kapag may ganitong cases kaming may mga nag-a-arise ng ganitong cases, no? So malaking tulong siya, no? So yes. I think yun.
Yeah, oo. And then, yung last one, no, is yung parang na-mention ni CFO na they are not only, na parang hindi lang pang barangayan, no, but you also go to school, for example, to communities, and that is very important, no, kasi yung cases natin hindi lang nangyayari in the communities, it can happen anywhere, at homes, at schools, for example, with the issues right now, no, sa ating mga schools. So, it's very important yung ating mga proactive measures. And tama, no, na kahit wala pa yung cases, we do not know, kasi meron tayong tinatawag na underreporting. So, hindi lang natin alam, but it is happening, no? So, it's very important na ma-raise natin yung kaalaman ng mga tao na, for example, kasi yun yung sinasabi nila na parang joke, kaya marami kayong cases kasi grabe yung advocacy campaigns. And that's actually correct. No, correct talaga siya kasi if you will look in the monitoring ng ating advocacy campaigns, yun yung ating goal na mapadami yung magre-report, for example, hindi mapadami yung cases, but yung help-seeking behavior ng mga tao, they will know na ito hindi lang pala okay, I will wala akong pake, but I have to report this one because kasi as someone na nandyan sa committee, I have an obligation. Moral, ethically, legal obligation.
And as I said nga, most of them, hindi lang talaga nila alam kung saan lalapit.
Yeah,
diba?
that's right.
Yun yung number one problem. Ma'am, ito yung nangyayari sa amin, pero at least now na nandito kayo, na introduce sa amin, alam na namin kung saan kami lalapit, sino kukontakin in case of emergency. Not in case of emergency, if nangyari na yung mga situation. So parang malaking tulong siya, nakakagaan na, okay, at least now nandito na po kami. No? Nandito na kami para matulungan kayo, no, na meron at merong office talaga, no, ang government natin. No? Lahat not just CFO, not just yung Benicio, no? Marami pong mga tulong. It's just that, nagkukulang lang tayo sa pag-push more, 'di ba? Na, yun na nga, kahit every year natin ginagawa, ang daming awareness, ang daming programs. Pero pag hindi talaga natin kasi nare-reach yung pinaka tao na kailangang makarinig ng mga information na kailangan nila, no? So doon nangyayari. Pero I hope na sana, no, each year na lagi tayong may ganitong klaseng programs and everything, no, mas dumami pa rin yung mga hindi naman dumami yung dumami yung tumawag, mag-seek, no? Kasi nandito po kami, no? Hindi po kami nawawala.
Yes.
No? Just reach out to us anytime.
Oo, yeah. So, it's very important talaga, no, na parang rejoiner lang na in our advocacy campaigns, aside from telling what is human trafficking, what is society, yung reporting talaga na, kasi yung mga tao na, let's be honest, no, kasi may hesitancy sila in going to police stations, in going to barangay offices, for example, kasi meron silang fear na ganito, and even sa social workers, may fear sila na baka kunin yung ma-involve sila, for example, there will be repercussions, but there are other ways in reporting, like sa hotline setting, for example, you can do anonymous reporting, as long as you will cooperate with us. Yun yung hinahanap natin, and I think that's also part of the advocacy rin ng Bidlisio na I really appreciated because they're also parang raising awareness na ito yung mga hotlines natin, for example. Okay? Sige, how about for Bidlisio naman? Kasi I'm also parang interested, no, yung sa inyong mga engagement, out of the how many engagements that you or advocacy campaigns that you work on, especially with your project areas, ano yung parang pinakamarami yung engagement and how is it different from our traditional methods?
Okay. So in Bidlisio, we have what we call a trifold approach. And this means that we empower yung 3 important stakeholders po sa community. That includes po yung multidisciplinary team in the barangay level and other city leaders as well. And we also have what we call the CWG, or the Community Watch Group, and the Peer Support Group. And so what we do, we have separate capacity building activities for these 3 duty bearer or stakeholders. Yes, we have separate trainings and capacity building activities for them, so that they would have, or they would be empowered na parang sila na po yung mag-share ng knowledge nila. Like for example, there are PSG initiated or youth advocates. They have PSG initiated activities such as incorporating awareness raising or advocacy messaging in teatro. And then we also have the Chiscasan. Shout out. Shout out. Yes, you can catch the, I think, episode 1 and 2 on their peer support group channel. So last year they had an episode talking about anti-trafficking or trafficking in persons. And then we also have we also have other innovative awareness raising methods. Like for example, we have the cyber caravan. So the cyber caravan is a 2-day awareness raising, and it's through the use of digital technology that we have these awareness raising activities. And then we also have the production, of course, of short ABPs. And as I mentioned earlier, the Chiscasan of the PSG. So that's those are some of the practices that we have in Bidlisio in terms of advocacy and awareness raising campaigns.
For the community watch, kasi parang interested ako, Miss Tony, how is it different from our parang barangay officials? So parang ano yung parang set up nila in working in the community?
I see. Okay. So our community watch group are members within the community. They're not necessarily members that or officers working in the barangay. So they're really members in the community. And the way that we train them, there are the eyes and ears in the community level. Okay, of course, as we were able to talk earlier, there is a certain level of underreporting, no? And so that means that we need to have a lot of parang source of info sa ground level. So that's how we trained our CWG. We capacitated them, so they are very aware of the red flag behaviors, no, mga suspicious behaviors, not just in trafficking in persons, but in child protection in general. And so they are trained there, so they can assist anyone in the community. Like for example, we also mentioned earlier, di ba, there's a sense of hesitance in terms to report, maulaw sila or mahadlok sila mo report sa barangay. So sometimes they can approach our CWG for assistance, and then the CWG can accompany them to the barangay, and to the point that the CWG can also be capacitated for a little bit of simple case management. So we have a series of training na makapacitate po yung CWG namin sa simple case management. Like for example, they can assist for the paper sa bata. Like walang birth certificate yung bata, or they need a medical checkup and medyo swamp na si 𝐿𝐿𝐿. No? So the barangay can tap the CWG yes.
At least na mura siyang it's not a duplication, but it's a sort of helping the barangay well, no? Oo. And there were already cases na through the CWG na murag na-rescue ang bata, na-report ang bata to our authorities. Nakasulay na sila, ani?
Yes, we do have instances particularly, but not it's not active for OSAE. Mga child protection issues lang, like for example, abuse, no, domestic violence. So, ang CWG na mooy nag-assist no sa pag-report. Sila gid mismo ang i-report sa barangay. And then of course, you know, the barangay processed it, and then yun.
Oo. Yeah. Pero aside from the underreporting, based on your experiences with the committee, ano pa yung mga challenges na nakita? What challenges have you seen so far, especially in awareness raising with our committee watch groups? Have you seen any challenges so far aside from the underreporting?
I think siguro one of our common challenges is sometimes the number of members, it dwindles throughout the years, but di naman siya ganun talaga ka-concerning because there are still a huge number of active members, but yun lang, sometimes magka-lessen yung members as the years go by. And then maybe another challenge, I think, is yung siguro some of our barangay officials yung mag-change po ng personnel. So that's also a very challenging part kasi sometimes yung, let's say, the head of the barangay na nag-recognize ng CWG as supplement or supporting arm ng barangay, nag-change naman ng leadership. So it's another process of introducing the CWG. So yun po. Yes.
Yeah, so affected rin sila with the change of the administration, which we cannot have a hold on. But sometimes we encourage na ito yung ating systems. For example, we try to at least lobby na ma-continue yung ating nasimulan, kasi sayang, kasi kung mawawala sila and the system or the strategy is working, why not continue with the next administration? But yeah, that is part rin sa ating advocacy na how we can, I think, sustain yung ating mga advocacy campaigns, which later on we will tackle naman yun yung sustainability. But balik tayo doon sa cyber caravan. So Miss Cleo, have you been to any cyber caravan?
Parang hindi.
Hindi pa.
Okay.
So sige, kanto natin kay Miss Cleo. Ano yung cyber caravan?
We actually have eight booths in a cyber caravan. Cyber caravan is just like parang na-rooted siya dun sa pista. If you've been to a Barry Fiesta. So, parang ganun siya na set up. But it's all gamification, combining of online and offline games, no? But dun sa games na yun, makikita natin dun kung ano yung mga online safety measures ang dapat matutunan ng mga bata. We do have our smart sharing, no? Shout out for PLDT. Tapos wala yung naganda sa amin. So, smart sharing is just learning how to post something online. Dapat alam nila kung ano yung ipopost nila or hindi, kung paano siya, or ano ba yung mga measures na i-think nila first. And then another is we do have our help support system, like it's traffic light kung kailan sila traffic light pala talaga siya. So parang traffic lights din na kung kailan sila mag-go, mayroong mga situations na ibibigay namin kung kailan sila mag-go, mag-stop, or maybe they will think first kung okay ba to or hindi. Ganun. But it's a game, no? Throwing balls like just that. And also we do have our helping path,
Yes,
no?
we do. Yung parang report
Yung mga
pathway.
reporting kung saan sila may again the same with the situations given, no? And then ipipick ng bata kung saan sila mag-report, mag-share ng information na to kasi nga hindi naman lahat ng informations na i-share nila sa lahat ng tao, di ba? So, dapat may mga appropriate lang na mga tao, sino yung mga trusted adults nila, saan sila mag-report, if ito yung sitwasyon, maybe in the barangay, some would answer in the social workers, sa social workers, sa police stations. So, ganun. Doon din naman, pinaprocess din namin sila kung ano yung mga sagot nila. Kasi nga, importante na ano ba talaga siya?
Ma-raise yung awareness.
Ma-raise yung awareness nila when it comes to reporting.
That's right.
Another, we do have our virtual reality,
Yeah.
no? So, VR siya.
Yes.
Invite nga kami.
VR siya na doon talaga kung ano yung nangyayari in the community level. So, trafficking or ASAEC,
Yes.
makikita dun sa bata kung ano yung mga red flags na nangyayari sa isang ASAEC or trafficking. So, it's a community. Makikita talaga dun sa VR na community talaga siya kung saan nandun yung bata.
So parang na-view niya siya.
Na-review niya talaga siya.
Yes.
Meron siyang set of missions na
I think tatlo? Or
I think 3
4?
or 4 na missions na kailangan niyang makukuha or ma-identify kung ano yung nandun.
Parang naglalaro ka lang para
Pero
using
still
VR.
learning.
Yes,
Oh,
you're
yes,
also
you're
learning.
learning.
If you are, parang hindi ka pa aware ano yung mga red flags ng USAIC. And when I tried it, sinabi ko talaga sa facilitator na I think it's good for children or even adults or who are doing training na instead of parang ito yung red flag, ito yung ganito, maglaro na lang tayo using VR.
Yes. And lastly, we do have our what we call abuse detection app.
Yes.
But we will not tell them that it's an abuse detection app. It's we say Ada.
Yeah, we call it
Ada. We call her Ada. So it's a game application na developed by the organization. Nandun yung lahat ng setting, like for example, family, school setting, online, community. So nandun lahat. May mga situations na ibibigay and then meron lang silang mga tools na gagamitin kung ano yung feeling nila kung etong situation ba ito ay go or it's a yes or a no. So the ADA will meron kasi kaming system pagkatapos ng laro ng bata. Of course we will debrief the child, no. So pagkatapos ng laro ng bata automatically mag-generate siya ng result. Is it the child playing, is it high risk, critical, or medium or low? So pag nandun na siya sa high risk and critical, pinaprocess talaga namin yung bata. Binavalidate namin yung information na nakuha namin. Kasi, maaari naman kasi na during sa game, sa laro niya, ay hindi siya nakaka-understand fully dun sa mga words. Kasi nga, yung words na ginagamit natin ay English pa siya so far. Hindi pa siya into local talaga na dialect natin. So, maaari din naman kasi nga na medyo although mayroong mga facilitators during sa mga pag-conduct, but kasi may ibang bata naman na mahihiya silang mag-ask ng ano ba to ate, ano ba ang ibig sabihin nito. So yun, pina-process namin, bina-verify namin totoo ba to. So during sa processing talaga namin our verification, meron talaga mga bata na would
Turns out,
disclose something, no? And then after that ibibigay na process na yung results and then also we will have a verification and then tinatanong natin yung bata kung ready ba silang makig-talk about it. Kasi nga kailangan natin i-ready yung bata before tayo mag-ask ng case conference. So, yun, ready ba siya na baka kasi yung parents niya yung perpetrator. So, iniwasan natin yung revictimization again. So yun po. And then, if meron na kaming nag-gather na mga bata and then we will communicate with the local social welfare office to have a case conference, schedule for a case conference. And then, ibabalik natin talaga sa kanila yun.
It's actually the same with our peer counseling. No, kasi sa actually, yung peer counseling itself, ang focus talaga natin doon, we're trying to look into if hindi ba napilitan si bata, hindi ba napilitan yung bata, no, na mag-migrate. May mga ganun kasi minsan, hindi ka naman ready mag-migrate, pero yung mom mo, papunta na doon. No, na-petition na yung buong pamilya. So, sige na lang, parang ganun. So, I think, like hearing yung yung mga questions, I think it's best to na ma-insert siya sa program namin. Para at least hindi lang puro migration ang focus, para at least migration and also para maiwasan din yung mga ma-victim sila ng OSAEC in the future, kung makita natin high risk ba, kasi of course ibang bansa mas grabe na, mas wider yung mga exposure nila, mas marami silang makikilala, and then they're in other countries, so yung mas maraming foreign national na mas may interact nila. So I think this is a great way.
Yes.
No, it's a great way talaga. No? So, I'll get your number.
Yes, we're actually interested because we do have another run of Cyber Caravan this month.
Invite na natin si Kay and the rest of
Yes.
our council.
Yes.
Kasi hindi lahat nakakapunta last time.
Yes.
Kasi we've been in, I was parang invited in Danbantayan. So, yun yung first time ko. Tapos they went to Naga, and then Mandaue, yes.
Bantayan also. So, ilang mga...
We also had Bohol and Iloilo.
Yeah, Bohol and
The farthest
Iloilo.
that we went.
Bohol.
But right now, we have here sa Cebu City, this 18 to 19.
18. So,
Miss Kim. So, maganda kasi para at least pag nandun kami, if in case kami yung ma-invite, makita namin ano yung pwede namin ma-adapt to our para mas malaki na yung range natin, and hindi lang mas marami tayong mata ng mga concerns.
That's true.
Yun naman talagang gusto natin.
Yes. And kahit nga kami for the SWD, I think there were portions of our advocacy campaigns that were already inspired by the Cyber Caravan. Kahit hindi namin na nagagamit, kasi the equipment, if you will go to the Cyber Caravan, grabe, very costly.
Very costly talaga siya.
Parang ganito yung mga setup na it will entail, parang hindi lang internet, but the equipment itself
VR
is
pa
very,
nga lang.
VR pa lang. So kami sa DSW are also innovating and somehow replicating some parts of it, kasi yung maganda is through the power of play, na parang unintentionally eliciting parang possible disclosures para sa mga bata, and hindi siya parang threatening on their part, because you are just playing. Parang ganun. So I think it's very important to that's the power of innovation,
Yes.
And going to our next question, kasi yung OSAEC or yung online sexual abuse or exploitation of children, kasi it's using internet to abuse or to facilitate abuse on a child, and kahit hindi child but an adult, so even in human trafficking, meron na din tayong ways of doing human trafficking through internet. So I think for Bidlisio, based on your experience, how did you adapt with the evolving trends right now when it comes to site? Paano kayo nag-adapt, and since our advocacy campaign is mostly focused on raising awareness sa ating parents and children, how were you able to educate them, especially on the dangers of OSAEC and SISAM and its red flags?
With the current na trend talaga, kailangan talaga din namin na mag-adapt ng kung ano yung kailangan ng current na trend ngayon. So, for now, just like what we shared earlier, na meron na kaming abuse detection app. So, na-part na siya. So, yung abuse detection app namin, yung si Ada, dinadala naman siya in the barangay. So, yung nasabi naman kanina, or na-mention naman kanina na guided group interaction. So, nag-gather kami ng mga bata sa community, dinadala namin si Ada. Pero just to clarify, yung abuse and detection app namin, meron po siyang parents consent and assent. Kasi kailangan mag-consent yung parent first. So before coming sa activity namin. And then mag-assent din yung bata kung okay ba siyang lalaro nito or hindi. So ganun. And then nakalagay din ano ba si Ada, or parang brief lang na explanation about the Ada. So isa din yun si Ada. Tsaka ongoing yung si Vera namin. Yung by the way, si Ada, si Vera, at saka yung iba pang sasabihin ko later on is product po siya na isang hackathon.
Yes.
So dalawang hackathon yung na-conduct ni Bidlisio Foundation. So first, we do have our hackathon last 2019, if I
Yes.
remember. And then, second hackathon is last year, wherein invited din yung DSWD. So, sa hackathon na yun, from the first hackathon namin, we do have our 6 prototypes.
Yes.
Oo, merong 6 prototypes. And then, part dun yung mga, etong si Ada, but na-refine lang siya ng na-refine. So, dinevelop pala siya at first. So, and then, hackathon pala is composed of professional developers, government agencies na nagde-develop din. Ano pa ba?
So what they do in the hackathon is they pitch a application or a tool that we can use to address ATIP and 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐒𝐒. And so that is why we have ADA. ADA was developed, as Erica mentioned, sa first hackathon. And then we are currently still refining it, no? And parang improving it as the trend, arises.
Yeah.
And then right now we also have Vera. So si Vera is under development.
Si Vera, isa lang siyang parang nasa messenger lang siya na kailangan mong if you have problems or do you want something to share or someone will share, you will share with, nandun lang si Vera. I-chat mo lang siya. Hindi siya chat GPT talaga. Parang i-chat mo lang siya. Tapos mag-reply siya ng kung ano yung gusto din mo din. So, ganun. And then, we do have our learning management system. So, nandun yung mga modules namin na makikita kung paano ba i-handle ito, ganyan. So, learning management system. Yes. Well, accessible naman siya online still. And developing pa din naman siya. So, yung tatlong yun, nare-refine talaga namin according din sa needs ng or sa current na trends. So, oo. So, we do have a hackathon na nandun din si Vera, si Ada, saka si learning management system namin. And then, of course, cyber caravan. So, isa din yun talaga sa nakikita namin na pag-adopt dun sa trend. Especially nowadays, na yung mga bata ay hindi na sila ganun kataas yung learning span talaga nila. Dinedesign talaga si cyber caravan for them. Kasi pag mag-peer education ka lang palagi, mabobore talaga sila. So, hindi ma-retain yung knowledge. Hindi naman sa lahat ng bata, but kasi due to the technology now na meron lang tayong mga span of or seconds lang ng mga videos or pictures.
Yung attention span nila.
Oo, yung attention span nila. So, through games, siguro mas kasi aside from their learning, they're just playing. So, and they're having fun. So, interactive talaga siya. So, ganun. Yun yung mga efforts and initiatives of the organization na parang nag-adapt dun sa digital trend natin.
And to add as well, since the question also includes how we educate parents. So, as mentioned, we do have we call the primary caregivers enhancement training, and we have piloted, I think last year man to Kang, right? We started with the PSET for men. So we focused, the participants are purely mga tatays because we were able to see that during our, of course, awareness raising and our interventions, most often it's just the women in the family, like ang mama, the lola, or auntie. Although there are fathers, but not really a lot, that are included in the discussion of how to protect children. Ganun. So last year we launched that we focus, we have a separate run of primary caregivers enhancement training, but for tatays.
And I think it's very important po no na we really include our families because most of the time human trafficking, especially 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐒𝐃, is family-based crime. Meaning, I think most of our studies nakikita natin and even experiences na ang perpetrator is the mother, the sister, or someone who is close to the child. So it's very important that we raise awareness not only in the child siguro, but even with the parents. Ang family gid kay with the recent cases right now with the Tacloban shooting, with the rising cases of 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐒𝐃 here in Cebu, it's mostly family-based gid siya, so it's very important that we also parang our advocacy campaign does not only focus on children, raising their awareness on reporting, but also sa ating mga families rin, kay it's more like how can we raise kanang awareness on the part of the children if the parents does not know, parang hindi sila aware how to monitor
that's
their
true.
children.
So
do you have any activities na pero kayong mga digital sessions with our parents, for example? Do you have that sa Bidlisio?
We included them sa modules namin
Yes.
for the PSET, the
For the
Primary
PSET,
Caregivers
yeah.
Enhancement. Because our intervention with the parents, it's simultaneous din sa bata. So
That's
while
nice.
the children are also going their weekly sessions, the parents are also having their weekly sessions. It's kind of like a separate na venues, of course, but simultaneous.
Yeah, oo. Kaya yun yung parang challenge namin siguro yung LGUs na wag na kayong mag-request ng mga orientation, blah blah blah, but let's
Yeah.
focus more on siguro parent effectiveness seminars,
true.
for example, no? Kasi pabalik-balik na yung orientation na parang last year ito yung re-request, this year ito na naman na walang return of investment. So why not focus more on sa ating mga communities, for example,
That's true.
no?
Yes.
Like for example, with our Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino program, naka-incorporate na yung aming discussion on human trafficking and SAEC. So at least although limited lang naman siya for our 4Ps, but they become multipliers kasi in the community,
That's true.
no?
That's true.
So it's very important na intensified talaga yung ating advocacy campaigns, and that also includes digital sessions for our parents. Kasi what if they encounter meron ng talong na emoji, for example? Ano yung gagawin nila? If makita nila yun sa batang naglalaro ng Roblox, for example, no? So that's very important, no, in our awareness raising, no? So for CFO, paano kayo rin nag-a-adapt kasi matagal na yung CFO, hindi naman super tagal, but matagal na when it comes to human trafficking, kasi from traditional going to online, paano kayo nag-a-adapt, no?
Actually,
these
just
times?
recently, meron kaming human, hindi laruan, type of, parang siyang series, no, talk, no, in a way, para din siyang game podcast in which na-highlight yung mga arising issues, no. So, nangyayari siya quarterly. Yearly yan, no. So, quarterly, we have, actually, Sir Charles, no, shout out Sir Charles, one of our officers in Manila, in our main office in Manila. So, ginagawa niya yung quarterly. Pinag-uusapan lahat ng mga arising issues, kung anong nangyari within the quarter. So, yearly din siyang nangyayari, and quarterly na nga, yearly pa nga. So just recently, ang feature nila is yung webinar on advancing, I think, disability, preventive action against human trafficking. No, so yun yung parang, I think, one way na ginagawa ng CFO na hindi lang puro orientation, hindi lang puro seminar, no, at least online, ginagawa natin siya. And apart from that, meron din kaming tinatawag nating post-arrival kamustahan, as we call it. Kasi, as I said kanina, yung topics on ATIP and OSAIC, mention siya sa lahat ng programs, no? PDOS, pre-departure seminar, we have that in guidance and counseling program, even with CFS. CFS, by the way, is a country familiarization program, para naman, seminar rather, para naman siya sa mga au pair natin bound to Europe, no? So, iba yung purpose nila on going to Europe, but then usually kasi at ages 18 to 28 to 29 to 30 years old yung mga au pairs natin. So we remind them as well na mag-ingat po tayo kasi nagiging victim din talaga sila, no? Hindi lang sila kasi sila may mga host family yung mga au pairs natin, and then one of the activities that they do is light household chores and childcare, no? So, may mga bata silang kinikare, no? So, basically, yung mga bata na yan, sa kanila na-under, no? Yung mga European parents, pag busy sa trabaho, so for specific amount of time, yung mga au pairs natin na nagkikater sa kanila. So, we advise them also na, syempre, mag-ingat tayo sa pag-handle with kids, no? So, may mga instances kasi na nagiging close yung connection nila. So, either parang nagbunga silang perpetrator, something like that, no? So, we remind them, mag-ingat tayo, no? Hindi pwedeng sobrang attached tayo sa kanila, no? Kasi ayaw nating mangyari yun. And also, since nag-involve sila sa mga bata, no? So, I think it's best din na, kasama din naman sa mga orientation namin na, sinasabihan namin sila na mag-ingat tayo sa mga online things na nangyayari. Yung mention kanina, no? Yung mga trend na nangyayari ngayon, ang dami nang pwedeng ma-meet ng mga kabataan online. Ayan. And then, apart from that, ulit-ulit na ako dito. Nalagi talaga siyang nasa program namin. Hindi lang kasi sa yung involvement kasi kanina minention ni Miss Tony, right? No, na simultaneous yung parents and kids. May ganun din naman sa amin, but more on sa counseling na nangyayari. So let's say si Filipina, no, nasa guidance and counseling program siya kasi may partner siya na foreign national. And hindi lang siya ang magta-travel. Meron siyang mga dependents na petition mismo yung mga anak niya. No, so we remind them sa counseling, sa mga parents, sa mga mother, we remind them na number one question during the counseling, let's say, ma'am, kasama po yung anak nyo sa pag-travel. How do you feel po? No? Do you feel safe naman ba yung bata na nandun tayo sa bahay ng partner nyo? Ganito, kaya part siya ng counseling. No? So parang tinitignan natin kung ano ba yung point of view ni Filipina as a mother, kung safe ba yung anak niya na dalhin sa ibang bansa. No? Kasi there are cases na kasi kung iisipin mo, parang nasama yung bata eh. Kumbaga kasi yung bata itself, wala naman siyang plano mag-migrate.
Yes.
But since yung mom niya na may partner na foreign national, they're planning to migrate. Kasama na siya. No? Kasi syempre, for the betterment din naman ng buhay ng bata. But we have handled cases in the past na hindi maganda ang naging life nung bata na nasama in another country. No? So, hindi naman, hindi direct yung case nor yung situation, hindi direct dun sa mom, but yung kid ang naging punteriya. No? Kasi, well, isa din sa, let's say, anyway, so may mga ganong involvement. So para maiwasan, dapat yung parent, we let them know na hindi lang po kayo ang mag-ingat. No? You should make sure na you feel safe for your kids as well. Na confident tayong isama sila. Kasi most clients din naman namin, hindi nila sinasama agad-agad yung mga kids nila. No, kasi ang laging sinasabi during the counseling, ma'am, kailangan ko munang tignan kung paano ba yung relationship namin dalawa na masabi ko po, pwede nang dalhin yung anak ko, may mga ganun. No, so apart from that, yun nga, as I said, no, sa peer counseling, na yun yung mga na-discover kong programs and mga things that yung mga innovative na things na ginagawa nyo, sana pwede naming ma-adapt din. No, so yes, no, we have questions then. No, I'm so sorry, Miss Charles. So sinabi niya kanina na parang lecture type. Parang kami yun eh. Kami yung ganun. No, more on lecture type kami. But it's really refreshing to hear na okay, other than lecture type, may ganitong things pala na pwede natin gawin. No? So I think hopefully ma-adapt namin yon. And part din naman siya ng question.
Yes.
We ask the kids na, okay, pag may nakita ka ganitong online, what do you think you're gonna do? No? And before yung ganong klaseng lecture type, may video presentation kaming ginagawa, no? So, sa video presentation, ano naman siya, designed siya na maakit yung mga bata, yung mga colors na ginamit nila, yung mga animations rather na ginamit nila doon, more on pang kids. No? Kasi, imagine yung mga nakikinig sa peer counseling namin, ages 13. 13 hanggang 19. So, sabihin natin yung mga 17 to 19, medyo wala na yan, gaganon na lang, titingin na lang. Yung 13, sobrang tutok yun eh. Kasi cartoons nila nakikita nila. So, yun, ganun yung mga interaction na ginagawa natin. So, as I said, no, apart from the program, na lagi at lagi, ever since CFO began, meron na talagang mention na yung ADIP natin, mention na din yung ASAEC, no? So, part din ng online. No? Online kamustahan. So, we do that. Lagi at lagi kaming kamustahan. Yung kamustahan, hindi lang siya sa au pair. Halos lahat ng clients namin, no, kinakamustahan. So, ang kamustahan naman para at least aware tayo. Anong nangyayari? Zoom call siya. Yes, no? Tapos we invite guests, no? Either one of the mga Filipinos overseas, no? So, basically, mag-share lang sila ano yung life nila, kamusta kami dito. Para siyang online kamustahan na the same online sumbungan. Kasi doon na rin sila na, ganito po yung nangyayari sa amin. So, very interactive, no? Hindi, as I said, ang tinatap talaga ng CFO, hindi lang sa mga mangingibang bansa, but even though na nasa ibang bansa na sila, we have a lot of post-arrival post-arrival programs din na ginagawa. And hopefully, for the coming years, no, mas madagdagan pa. Kasi nakita namin, hindi lang dapat pre-departure, dapat pagdating doon, matutukan pa rin natin sila ng husto. Lalo pat, hindi naman nagsastop yung mga ganitong cases just because nagkaroon na ng orientation and naka-attend na sila ng mga seminars with us.
Yeah. So, I think, no, marami talaga tayong ginagawa. And I agree, no, that, kasi marami tayong mga methodologies and I think lectures is still part of us, no? Pero at least meron tayong mga innovations. So like, to be honest, yung mga videos sa CFOs, yun yung mga ginagamit ko in our mga advocacy campaigns, no? Oo, kasi parang si Miss Kim again, shout out. Shout out si Miss Kim. Marami kasing videos si CFO na from the national na parang it's eye-catching, no? And tama, what if kung bata yung ating audience, no? So, okay, this is trafficking, for example, but okay, that's trafficking because I see someone who is crying, ganun na. Meron siyang explanation.
If malala mo, Miss, I'm sorry, Miss, joiner lang, no? Halos lahat even yung Amos video natin, cartoon. Naka-cartoon siya. Yung human trafficking video natin, naka-cartoon din. No, kasi ang target talaga natin, hindi lang talaga yung mga adult. Even the kids, kasi nga, sinasabi nga natin na nagiging victim din talaga sila.
Yes. Kaya nga, no? Sige, so moving on, no, sa ating mga advocacy campaigns, no, let's start with Miss Cleo. Parang $1 million question ito, no? So, when can we say, or ano yung mga indicators or metrics of success na masasabi natin na matagumpay or successful ang atoang advocacy campaigns based on your experience in the community?
Well, siguro kung ibabase ko lang sa experience ko, I've been working with CFO for about 4 years na rin. So, nalalaman ko na okay, effective yung mga advocacy campaign natin. Mas marami kaming nare-reach. Di man marami, I'm not saying marami. I don't want it to be marami. But may mga nakaka-reach out sa amin. Even email lang namin, CFO Cebu, like, ma'am, may anonymous tip lang po. Yung mga ganong klaseng sumbungan, no? So, nakakaabot na siya, no? So, parang doon mo ma-realize, okay, effective siya.
Yes.
No, may nagre-reach out na. So, dyan namin nararamdaman na, okay, nangyayari na, no, nalalaman na nila, saan ba yung tamang sumbungan, saan ba tamang mag-report, no. So, I think, yan yung pinaka-best na masasabi ko na effective nga siya. And apart from that, we have a lot of clients, no. During the counseling, yung client kasi namin, hindi naman sila halos lahat, kumbaga, hindi lahat ng clients kailangan ng counseling. No, kasi may iba naman na, okay ang relationship, no, magkakilala ng matagal, this and that. Ang number one na tanong, ma'am, how can I help? Yun yung nakakatuwa na, ay ma'am, mangingibang bansa na lang po kayo, gusto nyo pang tumulong, diba? So, ang lagi mo sinasabi, ma'am, basically yung mga na-discuss natin, no? Tapos after tanungin kung how they can help, ang laging kasunod na sinasabi, kasi may kakilala po ako, no? So, mga ganun, either ang kakilala nandito pa sa Philippines, so hindi kaya, ma'am, yung mga galing na doon, ma'am, may kakilala ko, kabarkada ko po na nasa ibang bansa. Ganito yung situation niya, no? So, yun, doon sila, doon namin nasi-share more kung hindi lang for emergency cases, ikaw din as a person, kaya mo ring makatulong, no? Hindi natin kailangang iasa lahat sa gobyerno, sabihin natin, ikaw mismo, makakatulong ka.
Yes.
And then, part of it, sa counseling kasi, ang pinaka-last question namin sa counseling, how do you think the counseling or the guidance and counseling program was able to help you for your migration? So, tinatanong talaga namin, bago namin, kumbaga that's part of our debriefing ng counseling, tinatanong namin lagi kung sa tingin nyo naging helpful ba, kung sa tingin mo nakatulong ba sa'yo, or ano yung natutunan mo, and ano sa tingin mo pwede natin dagdagan, no? So, ang lagi at laging tanong, hindi ko lang sigurado kung tama ba yung masagot nila, baka oo na lang sila, no? Pero usually naman, makikita mo ng sincerity during the counseling. Ang lagi talang sinasagot, ma'am, hindi ko alam na kailangan ko pala to. No, akala ko okay na ako. Akala ko ready na ako for my travel. Akala ko passport, visa, ticket lang yung kailangan ko. Kailangan ko pa rin pala ng ganitong klaseng kaalaman. Kasi most of our client, more on nafo-focus sila sa exciting things. No, I mean abroad, overseas, 'di ba? Mga Instagrammable places and everything. No, magbakasyon, mga ganun sa kanila. So parang na-appreciate nila na kailangan ko rin palang malaman na may ganitong program, meron palang CFO, and nakakatuwa lang din sa most mga clients namin ganun, yung mas nakaka-appreciate talaga. Laging sinasabi, ma'am, ako bahala sa inyo online. Kasi may mga group sila, no? May mga group sila na itong klaseng visa, itong group na para dito. So, doon sinasabi nila, kapag itatanong sila, ano yung processing sa CFO, yun, doon siya mas na-disseminate yung mga information natin. No? So, I think yun yung pinaka-indication talaga na, okay, may nare-reach. May nare-reach tayo sa CFO.
For Bidlisio, apart from reporting siguro and yung ating massive reach, no, ano pa kaya yung mga success indicators or metrics of success natin, especially with our advocacy advocacy campaigns?
I think first and foremost talaga is the increase in help-seeking behaviors. So there are some community members that will reach out anonymously, pwede through CWG, pwede through PSG namin, or even direct sa staff namin, and they would tell na, hey, may na kami pansin or na-experience ng mga suspicious behaviors. And then aside from that, there's also a decrease in unsafe online behaviors. So, for example, there are kids that would disclose to us and say na, ate, may nag-chat sa akin na stranger, and then instead of responding, I just block them immediately. So, mga ganun. They were able to, parang we take that as an indicator na talagang they were able to absorb and really reflect na there is, it's very important to be vigilant and safe, no? And be alert when it comes to online safety and your safety in general. And then of course, same nilang Miss Cleo, their increase in reports, so that's also an increase of a success indicator for us, rather, because it shows that we were able to bridge the gap between the community and the duty bearers, na parang they are less hesitant now to reach out. So that's all. That's some of our indicators. But si Erica, maybe she would like to share.
The same lang din naman, no. When it comes to OSAIC and tip talaga, yun yung parang makikita namin na yung mga advocacy campaigns namin are really working, especially in the ground, in the grassroots level rather, that our committee members would seek assistance, or for example, like saan sila pwedeng mag-report, or automatically they will contact us kung merong ganito na klase na child protection issues in the community. So, isa talaga yun sa mga nakikita naming indicator in when it comes to advocacy campaigns namin.
Yeah. So, it's very important nga no na at least pabalik-balik lang natin if we can post it in our barangays, sa social media natin. Let's utilize this one, no? Kasi if someone needed help, no, at least they will encounter this number. Even with, kasi no, there was a time na parang 1 year and 9 months ako a social worker sa RRPTP, kasi we are handling the 24/7 helpline, no, na every time na meron kami nare-receive na report and we try to assist ma'am, kaya nakita man ganin ako sa notebook, or that's actually part of our advocacy, that we are trying to spread awareness that there is a hotline na you can call on, or you will know na where to refer. For example, if meron kang nakitang bata, for example, in the streets, something like, or someone who is abusing this child, for example. So I think, there are different metrics of success, no, especially in the advocacy campaigns. Alright? Sige, so before we proceed to our next question, so we will take a break and we will have a few words from our partners.
Ang human trafficking ay isang makabagong paraan ng pang-aalipin. Ito ay paglabag sa dignidad ng tao. Ito ay isang krimen. Ang human trafficking ay ang pagkuha at paglilipat ng tao sa pamamagitan ng dahas at paglilinlang upang pagsamantalahan sa paraang prostitusyon, pornografiya at iba pang uri ng sexual na pananamantala, pang-aalipin o sapilitang paninilbihan, mail order bride o pag-aalok ng kasal sa isang dayuhan at ng Filipina na may kapalit na bayad, pagtanggal at pagbebenta ng mga bahagi ng katawan, pagkuha at paggamit ng bata para sa ilegal na gawain, kabilang ang pagsali sa mga armadong pakikibaka o pag-ampon ng bata upang sila ay pagsamantalahan. Sama-sama nating labanan ang human trafficking. Laban kontra human trafficking ay laban nating lahat. Tumawag o mag-text sa 1343 Action Line o dumulog sa anumang ahensyang miyembrong Interagency Council Against Trafficking.
are back. Okay, so let's continue our discussion. No, so of course in TIP and OSAIC, we cannot do this alone. We cannot work in silo. No, so maybe from our partners, maybe you can share ano yung mga what you can consider as best practice when it comes to your advocacy campaign that you would like the local government units and our partners pa in the private sectors na pwede ma-replicate no in the future no. So Miss Tons, naa pa ba yung pwede ma-share?
Okay, so as we were able to share earlier, we had what we call the hackathon. One thing about what was great about hackathon is it was a partnership between private sectors. So we tapped private developers, private professional developers. We also invited government agencies. So during the last run, the SWD was there. But the previous run, I think we had RACU and the transnational crime. So they were able to incorporate their ideas and insights. And, so yeah, it's private sector, government, and Bidlisio. So it was a partnership of all these sectors. And I'm not necessarily calling the local government no to have a run of hackathon. But if we could have a similar opportunity that where we can have a brainstorming or develop something like that. It's a partnership between all three sectors of the private sector, the government, and then of course us, the CSOs. But si Erica would like to share.
Well, it's not ideal also, but of course we really want also other. I think we really consider this as a best practice. Ito kasi yung nagsa-stand out pa as of the moment, yung cyber caravan talaga na. Kasi nga, nag-work talaga dun kung dun naman nakikita how many children are at risk, how many children are really experiencing abuses, both online and offline. So, isa pa yun. Kasi nga, yung mga community education and school-based education naman natin, nangyayari naman talaga siya. Anyone, you can conduct. But yung cyber caravan talaga, although costly talaga siya, expensive talaga siya, pero yun yung nakikita naming best practice naman as of the moment. Yung transforming our learning opportunity into a game, but still have they're being enjoy nila yung game at saka nagkaroon sila ng learning.
Yes. So maybe to sum it all up, I think the call to action is really to not just limit lang to what we were used to. It's really to think
Expand.
out of the box. Talagang think out of the box.
That's best practice, di ba?
So yeah, not just limit to yung traditional lang na, kasi it worked before, it's gonna work now. Because as time evolves, so does the community members natin. So the way we also share our messages, our advocacy messages should also evolve as well. Na parang close talaga natin yung gap sa community. So yes, yun po. Shout out to
Yes. How about for CFO, Miss Cleo?
For CFO naman, I think we started lang this year. So, each time na meron kaming successful clients, lahat ng program namin, bago namin binibigay, kasi may official receipt siya, may containment. Meron kaming dinidikit na flyers, no, na andon, step by step, ano yung documents that they have to prepare for their flight, ano yung mga airport procedure na kailangan nila paghandaan, and yung information about 1343. No? So, hindi lang natatapos sa seminar, even, nandun na yun, nakadikit na yung pag-open nila, ay okay, ito yung ano, tapos andun na lahat, no? So, parang, we advise them pa rin na, ma'am ha, so wag natin kakalimutan, ito yung mga kailangan tandaan, and also, if in case, no, may mga kailangan tayong i-report in the future, hindi man kayong involved, anyone, no, kahit nasa ibang bansa na kayo, no, ito po yung mga hotlines natin, no? So, yan, isa din yun sa mga ginagawa namin, and also, as I said kanina, marami tayong community, no, yung katulad sa inyo, may mga community education program tayo na yearly nangyayari. And hindi lang kasi siya sa Philippines. No? As I said, pinapadala din kami internationally. Ako, pinadala ako last year in Japan. So we were there for 10 days. So we connect to our Filipinos in Japan. No? And then ang sobrang nakagandang experience doon is we connect to our Filipino community leaders. Mga Philcom leaders natin. Kasi we advise them pa rin na, number one, we ask them, paano makakatulong si CFO sa inyo? No, so yan, na sinabi nila yung mga needs nila, and then yun, dun kami nag-usap kung paano kami mas makaka-relate. And then nakakatuwa lang kasi one of the PhilCom leaders na na-meet ko po in Japan, she visited CFO just this year, no? So mas naging, I think, strong na yung interaction and relationship namin with them kasi that certain leader, siya yung nagkikater sa mga Filipinos natin na nakaka-experience ng mga certain situations, no, trafficking situation, mga may mga OSAEC cases din siyang hinahawakan. And nag-iisang tao lang siya. Imagine, hindi siya under the government, hindi siya under ng private, siya lang talaga. No, siya lang talaga. Tapos may mga friends lang din siya na tumutulong sa kanya. So, yun din ang naging result ng study na ginawa namin last year. Sabi ko, mas maganda kung supportahan natin si ma'am, no, yung PhilCom leader na yun. Kasi siya lang mag-isa lang siya, so why not tulungan siya para mas mag-widen yung network niya. So yan, no, networks kasi ng CFO, as I said, hindi lang puro pre-departure, no. Diaspora kasi, may diaspora programs tayo. So, may mga stakeholders din tayo, no. So, malawak actually ang network ng CFO. And as I said, lagi at laging mention, no, ang mga ganitong klaseng awareness kasi it's part ang CFO ng Advocom, no, for the IACAT, no, na national level. Yan. So, hindi natin siya andyan na talaga.
Yes.
Pagsimula pa lang ng program, andyan na, embed na talaga siya. No?
Yes.
So, hindi talaga siya mawawala.
Yeah. I totally agree, no? And then to also add, no, kasi very important rin yung ating mga partnerships, no?
Yes.
And I think CFO and Bidlisio Foundation is grabe yung mga partnerships natin when it comes to, hindi lang siguro prevention and advocacy campaigns, but with other aspects like sa ating case management, for example.
Yes.
Kaya ngayon yung pinagmamalaki ng ating council kasi sabi pa nga ng ating mga prosecutors na what is good with our council kasi nawawala yung red tape, yung bureaucracy within the government, no? Na although there's still red tape, but at least na meron tayong mutual understanding na pag merong activities, merong ganitong cases, madali na lang ma-reach out yung ating mga law enforcement agencies ba, si Bidlisio ba, si CFO ba, for example, no? And that's very important rin, no, sa ating parang best practices, no? And even with our local government units, we really encourage them to partner with national government agencies and non-government organizations kasi they cannot do it alone, no? Kasi ako mismo as a social worker who provides technical assistance sa mga LSWDOs, nakikita talaga namin how hardworking they are, pero grabe yung workload. So, yung resources, marami silang resource, but sometimes it's not enough. Kaya nga sinasabi ko with CFO na, okay, let's go to Bohol, Ma'am Kim, let's go to Bohol, punta tayo doon, or with Bidlisio, no, na in-encourage talaga namin yung mga NGOs in going to Bohol, no, kasi not only Cebu, but Bohol really needs the help of our mga partners when it comes to advocacy campaigns, no. So parang in our last question, no, and this is very important kasi yung term na sustainability, and of course hindi tayo nandito forever, no, and one way or another baka next year wala na tayo or something happens again, no. So of course yung embedded na sa ating advocacy campaigns is yung sustainability, but how can we, or in your own words, no, how can we ensure yung sustainability ng ating mga programs, especially na we are really hoping na yung ating advocacy campaigns will not only reach next week or the next year, but on the future generations, no? So I think let's start with CFO.
Actually, as for this term, our secretary 𝐒𝐄𝐑𝐈𝐒𝐒𝐃, no, Charosec, one of his pinaka-focus niya talaga is makilala ng husto si CFO, no. As I said, hindi lang yung mga frontline services natin. So he's fully aware din sa mga tawag dito, sa mga programs that we have, no, TIP sa OSAEC, no. So I think hindi part din yun ng mga kinakampaign niya, no, na mas makilala ng husto si CFO. And as I said, sa amin kasi it's nandun na no, nandyan na palagi, no. Parang parang kami na yung bukang bibig na namin to, no, na lagi na lang, no. So I think mas more, no, mas kakalat pa siya kapag we partner, yung partnership na inaisip ko kanina, no, with the BTSU, no, para at least hindi lang, as I said, as Miss Charles kanina sinabi na hindi lang siya lecture type, no, para at least mas interactive, and I think mas mag-gain ng knowledge more yung mga participants natin kapag ganun yung ginawa nating programs, no, nag-interact tayo ng iba't ibang activities, not just yung lecture type, no. So as I said, ulitin ko, yearly hindi po talaga nawawala, no, ang awareness natin, ang programs natin regarding TIP and 𝐒𝐄𝐈𝐒, kasi marami kaming mga modules about it, no, marami kaming mga IEC materials about it, no, and yung online na mga seminar, webinars, no, meetings na ginagawa ng mga officers natin. Meron yearly, no, annually, nandyan, quarterly, meron, kamustahan, no, meron pa rin. So, kung sa madaling salita, no, hindi mananahimik si CFO. Lagi po namin i-mention, no, yung awareness natin for this kasi laganap siya, no. Sabihin man natin na marami ng ways, no, marami na rin, yun ang sabi mo kanina, marami ng awareness, no. Pero kahit na, no, marami awareness, pero yearly kasi meron pa rin situation na nag-a-arise, no, na nagko-call for us na kailangan nating mas igihan pa yung mga pag-disseminate natin ng information with our partners, no. Not just our partners, yung mga clients din natin.
For Biliso?
For us, no, of course, we have an internal practice of sustainability planning before the project ends. So what we do during our sustainability planning, we identify which areas we will invest in parang training and empowering to capacitate. So, isa doon as mentioned earlier, sa trifold namin, si CWGs, no, si PSGs, we ensure that when we do leave the community, no, parang hindi namin silang iniiwan lang sa ere. Yung parang pumasok pa kami sa buhay niyo para guluhin kayo, tapos na kami.
Hello,
parang,
love.
bye. Parang hello, love, goodbye. So, that's what we avoid. And then, of course, as mentioned earlier, we mentioned partnerships. So, that's really one of the things that we value the most, yung partnership namin, not just sa IACAT, but also sa partnership ng mga barangays, no? Shout out sa mga partner barangays namin. Cap, I know you're watching this. So, yun po, we ensure that when we do enter the community, hindi lang siya yung parang surprise.
Yes.
It's really we go through a process of introducing ourselves, what our advocacy is, no? And then when we leave, of course, sakto din yung pagbabay namin na parang hindi na kami siguro actively nandun sa community, but our partnership is still there. Na parang they can still tap us if ever they need trainings, ganun. And then aside from that, no, as mentioned earlier, the CWGs na kinacapacitate namin, no? So because sometimes there are areas that we already left, like for example si Lapu-Lapu and Danao, and Camotes Islands, there are active CWG members na sila na po yung nag-continue ng awareness raising campaigns. Sila na po yung implement ng mga community education sessions, no, or they still continue with the assisting of members that need help po sa barangay. Same goes for our PSG as well. So we have I think 6 clusters siguro, or 8 clusters. 6 clusters of PSGs. And then they also continue their initiatives. Like for example, very active, shout out PSG Gothong, no? So they continue their and Iloilo as well. How could I forget Iloilo, no? They continue the awareness raising. Sila na po yung nag-organize, and they're also the ones looking for the resources now to make the activity run. So that's just one of our sustainability plans. Yun po.
Yeah. So, very important rin, no? Kasi aside from we kept on mentioning yung ating mga partnership, forging partnerships, for example, no? Kasi yung sustainability is very important kasi as what I've said, we are not here forever. Although the government is here, pero what if masayang yung ating mga resource when it comes to advocacy campaigns? So it's very important that our campaigns are intentional, is issue-based, for example, no? And at the same time, we forge community partnerships kasi kasi how can we forge sustainability without the ownership sa ating mga communities? Kasi pag magka-campaign kami ngayon and then what after the next day, no? So it's very important rin, no, yung ating partnerships po na, and at the same time yung ating policies, no? Kasi it's one thing that I have learned even with our partners, kaya nga very inspired ako when it comes to policy development kasi nakita ko how policies are very important kasi dito nagsa-start yung sustainability, no? With CFO, with Bidlisio Foundation, you have been our partners when it comes to policy, parang policy advocacy rin, no? Kasi with our LGUs right now, hindi lahat ng LGUs may anti-TIP.
That's true.
Anti-TIP ordinances, no? In some of the LGUs, I will not mention names, no, in the LGUs, but meron talagang may LGUs na they really admit na parang they have, parang na-overlook siya. Hindi nila nakita how needed, na hindi enough na parang minention lang yung trafficking sa children's code, but there should be a separate ordinance on anti-TIP and anti-USAID, no? Kaya nga last year, that was last year na yung IACAT, no, have really awarded LGUs na meron talaga silang anti-USAID na mga ordinances because it's a way of appreciating how important, no, yung ating mga ordinances, no, for example. Kasi through our policies kasi dyan makukuha yung ating mga budgets, may basis tayo on where and how can we continue our advocacy campaigns, no? Kaya nga in the LGUs na pinupuntahan ni CFO and Bidlisio, doon nila nare-realize na okay, we need to do this or we need to strengthen kung meron ng mga policies, for example. Kaya nga it's one of the anchors, no, ng ating council, yung policy promotion talaga. From the provincial up to the local government and even the barangay. Kahit nga po when I went to the Anbantayan, they have an SAIC ordinance, but I challenged them, dapat ma-cascade nyo to into the barangays. Kasi how can this be enforced without the barangays? So yun nga, we are still waiting for the feedback, but sabi nila kasi tinulungan namin sila in crafting the ordinance, the barangay ordinance, no. So yun nga, positive naman yung sangguniang nila, SB nila, no, sangguniang bayan nila, no. So it's part of our advocacy rin, no. So ganun, no. So napakalawak, no. It's the advocacy work is very broad, no. And I think it would take how many years kasi hindi talaga mawawala yung issue ng traffic, no. As long as there is supply, there is demand, hindi mawawala ang advocacy campaign. So of course, alongside our policy makers in the national, dito rin tayo sa regional and in the local level, meron din tayong mga efforts, no, when it comes to the prevention, and in the hopes of one day wala nang trafficking and suicide, because that's the goal of advocacy, no, na sa una daw yung ating metrics of success is yung number of reported cases, but in the future the long-term success is dapat wala nang cases of USAID and TIP in the future. Hindi mawawala naman yung DSWD, CFO, Bidlisio, but at least we are parang panatag tayo na wala nang bata, wala nang adults, women, and men alike are being victimized, no, of human trafficking, no. Okay? So I think that's the last question, no, and parang napakongid, no, labian din nga to ang discussion this afternoon, no. So thank you kaayo sa to ang mga panelists who have been with us, no, for this premiere episode of the MAKABATA series. So at this point, no, so let's hear a closing message siguro, and please include lang also if how can you be reached, no, if merong mga interested na mga local government units and other partners who would want to partner with CFO and Bidlisio. So let's start with Miss Cleo.
So yun lang. So again, thank you na na-invite po kami here ng CFO, no. So para at least this is one way na mas ma-reach out natin yung madlang people, no, sa mga advocacies, no, policies na meron tayo tayo, no, with regards sa awareness na celebrate natin for this month. Yun lang. For more information about the CFO, of course, no, you can always check our official website. It's cfo.𝐄𝐏.ph or our official page, the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, no, Facebook page, no, for for the audience, mga nakakanood po, no, lahat po ng questions regarding CFO, pwede po kayong mag-message sa messenger natin, sa Facebook page natin. We have active, no, officers na sumasagot sa mga inquiries, no, questions, everything. Lagi namin sinasabi, no, kung hindi nyo po kayang, or pag nakalimutan nyo po yung 1343 action line natin, pwedeng sa messenger ng Facebook. Kasi officer po, mga officers, no, mga immigrant officers natin, yung mga nag-cater or sumasagot sa mga messages. And also, syempre, di natin makakalimutan the 1343 action line against human trafficking. No? So, this action line, it's 24/7, no, crisis hotline, no, so maaari silang tumawag anytime, no, as I said, hindi lang hotline, pwede rin sa Facebook page. Yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Cleo. Or Bidliso.
Ayan. So, thank you so much. We are very blessed and privileged talaga to be one of the first panelists sa first natin na episode on MAKABATA. Talaga such an honor. Because we really do like introducing and talking about ano po yung mga programs and services of Bidliso. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share. No, not just sa inyo, but also to the, sabi pa ni Miss Cleo, madlang people. Yes, shout out lang po later on. But yes, if you would like to reach Bidliso, we are located at the Mandaue City, A. Del Rosario Street.
And also Luok.
Yes, we also have another office in Look, Mabini Street.
Yes.
And then if you would like to follow our Facebook page, you can find us at Bidliso Foundation Inc. And you won't be confused kasi po yung profile picture namin, yung pong logo namin na ano po, humahawak po ng sidlak. Ng sun.
Yes.
And then, of course, now before we end this discussion, we'd just like to call to action na parang magpaka-alerto against human trafficking, report human trafficking,
And gawing #ligtas online ang bawat bata. Opo. So, yun po siya.
Thank you so much, Tony and Erica, no. So, thank you so much, no. So, sa ating mga panelists no, who have been with us, no. So, on behalf of the Interagency Council Against Trafficking 7 and the Violence Against Women and Their Children, no. So, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to our exceptional panelists from the Commission of Filipinos Overseas and to Bidliso Foundation, no, and to every single advocate who have tuned in today. And of course, no, to our viewers, thank you for joining us, no. And always remember, public awareness is merely our starting point. The true measure of our success lies in our continuous, deliberate, and collective actions every single day. So let us nurture, cherish, and firstly protect our children and youth for a safer, more secure, physical, and digital tomorrow. This is the MAKABATA Series. See you in our next episode.